Life is mysterious. No one knows the answers to life, and no one knows how to be the perfect person, how to live your life the perfect way and be truly successful. But despite the many mysteries of life, and the fact that life can be hard, and it can most certainly be scary, we all know how beautiful life is. Beauty isn't just the scenery in the background of this video. Beauty comes in the form of family, friendships, relationships, lessons, passion, and love. You can love people, you can love objects, you can love ideas, you can love yourself. What makes us unique is not having different loves. It's how we love those people, objects, ideas, or ourselves differently. Two people could love the same person, but have completely different viewpoints on them. Life experiences dictate what you like, what you love, and what you are passionate about. Every person has their own unique life with their own unique experiences that have shifted their viewpoints, changed their lives, inspired them, taught them, and introduced them to something or someone they love. Today, I want to share those experiences with you. Some personal, but most being accounts from the people I care about. I want to share what people love and what people prioritize, how they found what they love, and how it has affected them, their past, their present, and their future. I want to share with you the beauty of life through passion. The first story I'd like to share is my own. From the moment I was born, I was introduced to professional wrestling, WWE. And as a kid, I loved it. My parents would put it on TV, they would buy me the action figures, the belts, the games. I was hooked. Eventually, however, I was around 7 to 8 years old, and I found out that it was fake, scripted, for use of a better term. I was shocked, but instead of distancing myself from what I loved, this gave me a whole new perspective on things. Realizing that wrestling is really about telling stories made me a more creative person. It made me watch wrestling differently, and it made me gain more respect for the art of professional wrestling. Flash forward to today, and I still regularly watch it. I still buy the games, and I still buy the belts. Just not the ones for kids. I have dreams and aspirations of maybe someday being involved or working in the world of wrestling, but I'm still trying to figure that out. The next story I'd like to share comes from my friend Zayden. He's 17 years old and he loves video games. I started playing games when I was little after watching people play them on YouTube, and I always found them to be more enjoyable than doing other things like watching TV. I pretty much learned how to read from playing games, and they allowed me to better connect with people. I believe they will continue to be something I enjoy as a pastime in the future. Passion can come from anything, whether big or small. A simple hobby like playing video games can seem dumb and lazy to some, but to others it's an escape into another world, something that brings them great joy, something that teaches them a virtue to communicate with people, and something that they simply love. Passion can come from things that are not physical. An idea or a belief system can also be a passion. Religion is oftentimes that passion for people. The next story I'm going to share comes from my friend Jackson, who's also 17 years old, and his passion is Christianity. I was born into Christianity, and I always have been surrounded by it. In 2017, however, my favorite person besides God, my Nana, passed away. And when she did, I was lost. So I started blaming God and asking, why God? Why take such a wonderful, beautiful, and kind person away from this earth? So I stepped away for about 5 years, and I turned to anything that would make me happy. Things like weed, alcohol, and a bunch of drama. It didn't get me anywhere, so I just kept doing it in hopes that it would. Eventually, one random day, I was staying with my great aunt, who goes to the same church I go to now, and I fell in love with it. I got back into God and quit everything I was doing cold turkey. I got closer to God again, and I learned a lot about Him. Then I was invited to church camp, and that's when I accepted Jesus into my life, and it was amazing. Now I follow Him and let Him guide my life, and yes, I do still sin, but I always know that I will be forgiven, and that, to me, is a blessing. That is why I'm a Christian today. Although I am not Christian, or even religious at all, this story shows me that religion can help people in many ways. It can set a guide for someone to live a better life and be a better person. And that, to me, is beautiful. It's also beautiful that people are that passionate about something that's not even 100% proven to be true. But to them, it is. Because they love God and they love the joy of having faith. Passion can also come in the form of aspiration. My friend Colin, for example, has chosen to share his love for fighting and his aspirations to take lessons and become something big in the world of MMA. I think my inspiration for fighting really comes from people like Topuria and Izzy. I feel like they have inspired me so much in that. And I feel like before I started watching UFC, or before I wanted to start taking classes and stuff, I just felt like I wasn't passionate about anything, to be honest. I mean, sure, I was passionate about people, but I never really found this something I was passionate about. And I've never really put in this much effort into something. I do want to put in more effort to fighting though, and I do want to start taking classes, and I do want to maybe become something big, even though I really doubt that would happen. But hey, you can always dream. Sometimes people aren't confident in what they love. Sometimes people lose passion because they don't think something's possible. You shouldn't give up on something just because you think it's hard. We all have limited time on this earth, and we should all spend our time doing what we love. And if you have to grind and work hard and train and study to even get the opportunity to do what you want to do, then you should do that. Because nothing in life makes you happier than finding your purpose and doing what you love. Sometimes people are passionate about other people. The most common form of love comes in the form of loving another person. A parent, a sibling, a friend, a coworker, a classmate, a teacher, a boss. There are many different kinds of people that someone can hold dear to their heart, love, and be passionate about. In this case, my friend Braden has chosen to share his love and his passion for his girlfriend. I'm passionate about my old lady because she brings a kind of peace and light into my life that I didn't even know I was missing. She believes in me when I'm at my lowest, and she pushes me to keep going when I have no motivation left. She doesn't give up on me even when I feel like giving up on myself. I really think God sent her to me for a reason, and I thank Him every day for that. Her love, her support, and her constant presence means more to me than I can put into words. And I'm just genuinely grateful to have her by my side. The last story I'd like to share comes from someone who would like to remain anonymous. They are the person that inspired me to write this video, and their immense love for what they are passionate about is what opened my eyes to the beauty of passion. How it can be a roller coaster of emotions, how it can inspire people, and how it can make you a better person. The person who sent me this story is not someone who I would consider to be the closest, but is someone who I call a friend. But the fact that they are that in love with what they are passionate about, and they feel the need to share it with everyone, even people who they aren't close to, is beautiful. It's very beautiful to me. It shows me that passion and love for certain things can connect people. It can teach people, and it can spread joy. So here is their story. The UFC, or Ultimate Fighting Championship, is the world's premier mixed martial arts organization. It's a sports promotion that hosts MMA events worldwide and is known for its high-profile fighters and global reach. I started out watching the sport in 2023 on my first UFC card, UFC 284, watching at Buffalo Wild Wings with a couple of friends from high school, with the main event being Alexander Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev. At the time, I didn't really have an idea about the fighters and who was good. I was just there watching two fighters fight for a paycheck. There were some decent fights on the card, but the last fight of the night is what really changed my view on this sport. Islam and Volk had a legendary scrap going back and forth for 5 straight rounds, showing the most skilled MMA match I've seen to this day. I was hooked the whole fight. I didn't take my eyes off the screen, and I realized how much passion people have for the sport when I could hear people in Buffalo Wild Wings yelling and screaming for who they wanted to win. After watching UFC 284, I started going to Buffalo Wild Wings more consistently, going every Saturday when they were live, and when I couldn't make it, I'd watch at home. I started watching YouTube videos about fighters' stories, their come-ups, and their rise to stardom. I found one fighter with an amazing story and fun style to watch, and I started watching his fights, became a huge fan, and rooted for him through his losses. Which is the only hard part about being a UFC fan, is you never know how the fight will go, and that's why your adrenaline is always pumping. Your favorite fighters could be an underdog and end up beating all the odds, or they could be the favorite to win with ease and end up getting brutally knocked out. Like I said, the UFC can either have you in a state of happiness and joy, or it can have you in a state of sadness and despair, seeing your favorite fighter get dominated and KO'd or choked unconscious.
I'm in the car right now. I'm doing 90 on the freeway. Hey Slim, I drank a fifth of vodka. You pay me to drive?
But it's all a part of mixed martial arts. One punch, kick, or elbow clinch takedown can change the rhythm of the whole fight. The whole aspect of a man fighting to feed his family, represent his country, or prove a point about himself to the whole world is really what I love about this sport. It's really affected me seeing my favorite fighter get knocked down, getting old, and losing. But I remember all the adrenaline rushes I had when he was at his peak, and when he soared so high. It's all a part of the fight game, is seeing the crazy outcomes. That's why I love it, is you'll never know what you're going to see happen. That's also why I think everyone should watch this sport and have moments like this for their own. Thank you, Sebastian, for letting me share my personal thoughts about my favorite sport. You're welcome. And thank you for sharing. Thank you all for sharing. The purpose of this video was to teach people about how passion can come in many forms, and how it can change lives and make people better. Whether you're passionate about an activity like Zayden, an idea or belief like Jackson, a goal or aspiration like Colin, or a person like Braden is, everyone has their own passions and loves. And maybe your love for that is so strong that you need to share it with other people, like the last story. No matter what it is, I believe that passion is beautiful, and it is rooted in love. Have a nice day.